Okay, so you received this trifold in the mail, and what this trifold tells you is the basics that you need to know for the day. These are your leans over here. These are your greens over here. These are your condiments, snacks, and fats. You'll notice that the least fat leans, you're allowed larger portion sizes. So in this case, you're allowed 5 ounces here, 6 ounces. In the greens, the vegetables are broken up into groups of least to most carbohydrates. So of course you're going to be allowed a larger portion size of the ones with the less carbohydrates. As you move to the more carbohydrates, the portion size goes down. In the condiments, snacks, and fats, you're allowed a certain amount of condiments, which are shown here. You're allowed a certain number of snacks, which is 1 per day from the snacks. And you're allowed a certain amount of healthy fats, depending on which of the leans you had. So where there's a less fat lean, you're allowed more healthy fat. But you want to make sure that you have the number of portions of healthy fat. They're important for the nutrients in your diet. We're going to talk a little bit about leans and portion size. Another document that you received is this lean shrinkage chart. When it says that you can have 5, 6, or 7 ounces of lean, you want to make sure that you're having your as purchased amount compared to the cooked amount. When you're allowed 7 ounces of a lean, you might have to order 10 ounces of a before cooked weight. So for instance, fish. You buy 10 ounces of fish to yield 7 ounces of cooked portion. In chicken, you buy 10 ounces of chicken, which reduces down to a 5-ounce portion. So don't short yourself. Make sure that you're cooking before weight portions to yield your after weight portion. The same holds true for your vegetables. It tells you that you could have a cup or a half a cup of these different vegetables depending on what the carbs are in those vegetables. But you don't want to short yourself your portion because these are after cooking weights. So you go to your vegetable chart and it will tell you how many ounces of a particular vegetable you cook in order to yield your portion size. Again, you don't want to short yourself. And I'm going to show you later what some portion size look like. A cup of broccoli, for instance, is only a few pieces of broccoli. But when you actually weigh the broccoli out on your scale, you'll find that you're really allowed a larger portion size. I'll show you that in a little while. Healthy fats are shown over here, but this is a very abbreviated listing of the healthy fats. We're going to send you by email a full listing, and it's going to look like this. So this will show herbs, spices, sauces, dairy, cheese, and milk substitutes, baking and cooking ingredients, and then it goes on to healthy fat options. This tells you the amount of each one. You'll note that they're pretty small portions over here. So you have to be kind of careful although it says you can have condiments, like for instance, in the case of ketchup, it's only a small amount of ketchup that you're allowed. So if you're using barbecue sauce, you're only allowed a half a teaspoon of barbecue sauce. If you're using steak sauce, you're only allowed a teaspoon of steak sauce. So even though it says that you can use these things, refer to the amounts here because they're quite small. You're only allowed a certain amount of condiments each day, and that's described over here in your condiments. you're allowed a certain number of servings of these condiments. Your healthy fats, it depends on which of the leans you chose, tells you how many healthy fats you can have a day. It could be as few as 1, it could be as many as 3. But this expands on the healthy fats that you could have. For instance, one of the things I'll point out, that if you have salad dressings on your salads, depending on which one you choose, you're only allowed from 1 to 2 tablespoons. So although you're allowed salad dressing, it doesn't mean you can drown your salads with it. You have to limit yourself to a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. The other healthy fat options are shown here, and it'll tell you how many almonds you can have. It'll tell you how much olive oil. For instance, 1 serving of a healthy fat in olive oil is only 1 teaspoon. So again, you can't be putting a whole bunch of olive oil and calling it 1 serving. It has to be limited to the amount of servings that it shows here.